Hello and welcome to this screencast. My name is Oliver Wirkus. I'm a senior SharePoint consultant with Softlanding in Vancouver, Canada, and I'm also a Microsoft MVP. This video is part of a series of videos that we at Softlanding created to assist our App Modernization initiative. The videos in this series are providing technical information for developers and IT admins that is directly related to our App Modernization workshops and talks. Before we start, please allow me to quickly introduce Softlanding. We are a Vancouver-based Microsoft systems integration partner founded in 2000. We have about 50 staff in our Vancouver office and are partnered with, amongst others, Cyrusen, Metalogix, Nintex, and specialize in Microsoft enterprise technology. Our area of expertise comprises of 4 pillars. Number 1 is the Microsoft productivity stack, including Office 365 and SharePoint. Pillar number 2 is all about Microsoft infrastructure, including Azure and on-premises infrastructure. Pillar 3 is focused on custom development like app development, SharePoint and Azure development. And Pillar 4 is our security practice. If you would like to know more about what we are doing and how we might help you, please visit our website or contact us via info@softlanding.ca. As most business applications are using databases, it makes sense to migrate the databases of your business applications to Azure as well, if you are thinking about modernizing your existing business applications. In this video, I'm going to update the demo application I have created in the first video with a database hosted in Microsoft Azure. To be able to utilize Microsoft Azure as a platform to host your business applications, you first need to have a subscription. If you don't have a subscription yet, you can always get a trial subscription that is available for 1 month free of charge. Navigate to www.azure.microsoft.com and sign up for a free trial. As I just mentioned, in this video we will add a database to the existing demo application. In the subsequent videos we will take this basic application and enhance its functionality. Okay, let's switch over to Azure and have a look at the dashboard of my subscription. Here you can see we already have an app service and an app service plan, and I've created both of them in our first video. Now I would like to add a database and a database server to my resource group. I'm doing that by clicking on the plus new icon in the left sidebar. Look for databases and click on SQL database. Our new database needs to have a name, and I'm going with App Modernization Demo again, and as you can see here the screen check mark is telling us okay, this name is valid and available. I'm staying with my existing subscription and I'm reusing the existing resource group, so the resource group I've created in my first video. In your environment you probably would go for a blank database as a source, but as I need some demo data in my demo environment here, I'm clicking on sample. If you want to have a SQL database in Azure, you also need to have a database server. And that's the reason why I'm creating a new server here. Our new server needs to have a name, and I'm going for App Modernization Demo. And this screen check mark is telling me the URL appmodernizationdemo.database.windows.net is available. I need to have a SQL Server admin login, so I'm choosing SQL admin as a login name and a secret password. Okay, passwords are matching, great. And as location, I'm choosing Canada Central as I'm located in Canada. So click on select. The last step I need to do is I need to select the pricing tier. Now I think the basic pricing tier is sufficient for my demo application, so I'm choosing basic here, click on select and click on create. Now it will take a couple of seconds for Azure to create our new SQL server and the new SQL database. We can watch the progress if we click on all resources here in the left sidebar. So these are all the resources we are currently using in our resource group. Here's our app service and the app service plan. I've created both of them in the first video. And if I click on refresh, Azure is still working on the database server, so let's give Azure a couple more seconds. Try again, click on refresh, and here we go. Azure has created our App Modernization demo SQL server. While we are waiting for the SQL Server database, I would like to continue with one important configuration step. So I click on the SQL Server. Under Settings, you'll find Firewall. Click on Firewall. And this is important. This is the client IP address. So this is the IP address of my laptop I'm using for this video. I'm copying that because I need to create a firewall rule, a new one. So I name it dev environment, and I'm adding my IP address as a start IP and an end IP here, and I click on save. Now I will be able to access that SQL server from within my dev environment. So this is an important step, and it looks like Azure has created our SQL database. So let's close this. Refresh the view, and here we go. App Modernization SQL database has been created. Alright, now it's time to switch over to our dev environment. So this is the basic web application I've created in the first video. Now I would like to add the database access to this solution. To do this, I'm clicking on the project, add new item. I'm selecting data from the installed templates, and in my example I'm going for ADO.NET Entity Data Model. I don't change the model name here, I just leave it, and I click on add. So as I already have sampled data in my database, I'm choosing the EF designer from database, so Visual Studio will read the schema and create classes based on the existing tables in my database. Let's click on next. Now I need to configure a new connection, and to do this I need to know the database server name. Okay, let's go back to Azure, click on our SQL database, and in the overview pane you can see server name. Here's our server name, and if you hover with your mouse on this icon here, you can copy the server name. Go, switch back to my dev environment, create a new connection, I'm pasting in the name. So authentication is SQL Server authentication. I'm adding SQL admin as a login name and my secret password here. Now I can see, or I can check if Visual Studio is able to access my Azure environment, because I want to select my database here, and I'm clicking here. It's loading database names, and here we go, App Modernization Demo. Here's my database. So now I know that Visual Studio is able to connect to Azure. I can do an additional check here. Okay, test connection succeeded. That's great. So let's click on OK. So here's our new data connection. In my environment, I'm fine with a username and password to be added to the connection string. In your environment or in a professional environment, you may want to click on the first radio button here. So this is the connection string, and I click on next, let's import the tables and the views. So now this will take a couple of seconds for Visual Studio to read all the tables in the database and to create an entity model based on that. That usually takes 10 to 20 seconds. Okay, looks good. Now Visual Studio is updating the Solution Explorer. You can see here in the window on the right. And as soon as this is done, we can continue to update our application. So let's wait for Visual Studio to finish its work. And here we go. So this is the schema that Visual Studio was able to read from our database. We don't need to have this right now. Let's scroll down here in Solution Explorer. And we can see here is model number 1, and here are all the classes that we can use to access our data. Okay. What I want to do is I want to create a new view, and this view is used to display some of the data in our sample database. So I click on Home, Add View, create a new view. I call it Products, and I want to use a layouts page, so I'm choosing the standard layout page here, layout.cshtml. Click on OK and add the view. Now Visual Studio is adding a new view to our home controller. Here we go. So let me just add some additional lines of code here. So I need system.collection to be able to show some data, and I need to have a collection with products. I call it prod, and this will be an array list passed by view data, and the name will be products. So I know that this is not the recommended approach, but I think it's a suitable approach here for my little demo. So to display our data, I'm using a list, and just let me try to read some data. Li, and this is showing the name of the product to string. Okay, so this is all we need here. So let's save this and close it. So next is I want to have this new view and the main navigation. And to do that, I'm opening layout.cshtml. Here's a list of items in the main navigation. I'm just copying this one, pasting it here, and renaming it to products. The new view has the name products as well, and this view is part of the home controller. Okay, save it. There we go. And let's see if everything is compiling. No, first we need to update the home controller. So here's a home controller, and here I need to add a new action result. So let's do this quickly. I call it products. So I can copy this because it will be the same. Copying it here, so we have the view back. I'm creating a new array list. Oops, I forgot to add new here, new array list. And I need to have a list of products, so I create a new variable, new products. And this should be a query that I use to retrieve my data. And to be able to use that query, I need to check the name of the entity. So let's go to the model.1 context here. And this is our class name. I need to remember that. So close it here and continue with this. I want to access the products. Now I need to create a query equals from P in products select P, and I need to fill my array list. And I think it's sufficient to take the first 20 product items. So data.add, so we can add product.name to the list. The last step here is view data products equals data. So I have my array list here, and I'm passing that that filled array list to my view data. So let's save everything and see if everything is compiling. So build is started, build succeeded, so it looks like everything is fine. Now let's publish the application. I click on publish, and in the first video I already created a publishing profile, so I don't need to do this again here. I can simply click on publish. Now Visual Studio is publishing our updated application to Azure, and we should see our application here in Internet Explorer. So Internet Explorer is trying to load the application now. Here we go. As you can see, this is App Modernization Demo as our application name. Here's our new products view. And if you click on that view, you should be able to see some data. Here we go. Here's a list of the first 20 products that our demo application has just read from a SQL Server database in Azure. As you have seen, there are just a few steps needed to create a database in Azure and to update an existing web application to be able to read data from that database. In the following videos, we will add additional functionality to this web application as well as enhancing its reliability. Thank you very much for watching this video and stay tuned.